Today on Attack of the Show, she's really hot and really old.
Isn't that what turns you on?
Sharon Stone takes it off for Basic Instinct 2. Then, are the lost episodes of Dave Chappelle worth all the hype?
Nah, man, it's cable.
And wrestling legend Chris Jericho goes ballistic right here on our set. All this and more on a live and totally original Attack of the Show, starting right now.
What's going on here? Think about this. Attack.
Oh, thank you. Someone knows who I am. I'm Kevin
Pereira. It's always the same guy, though. Just so you know, it's not a fan club. It's one guy.
I pay him daily. We're live and actually still shaking off the hangover, to be honest.
That's true. So, Kev, remember yesterday we showed you that badass headbutt at the end of the World Cup?
That was more of a chest butt.
Either way, it was awesome.
It was sweet, yes.
Well, I actually started to think I actually need a finishing move, too. So
I recommend the index finger curl with the swirl. It normally does the trick. Just
that actually does do the trick.
Pretend you're at IHOP and you're trying to scrape some gum off the bottom of the table.
That's more of an in-your-pants advisory thing, just so you know.
That's not the finishing move you're looking for?
No, I love that one, but I'm actually not talking about that. I'm actually talking about a wrestling move like Hulk Hogan's atomic leg drop.
Oh, yeah.
Jake the Snake's DDT, or how about the Mun throat choke?
Okay, no. How about not the throat choke?
What about the Attack of the Show growing pull or something?
Okay, no.
What about Olivia's rack?
Now that I like.
Nice.
That I like. But how about like something with some real flair? I mean, not saying that the rack isn't fantastic and I wouldn't love to be submitted by it. But you know, I'd rather tap out with something like a guitar. Don't you maybe get a guitar involved?
What are you talking about?
You'll see, actually. I'm glad you're confused. Let's check in with an expert. He's wrestling's former heavyweight champion of the world, the living legend. It's Chris Jericho. Chris, what's up?
Hey, Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Woo!
First of all, you know,
right.
I would like to volunteer to help you practice the attack of the groin pull, Olivia.
Nice.
It sounds very, very interesting. Now, what I want to do today, it's not really a finishing move, but I don't like acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
They bother me.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm going to take out my bad feelings towards acoustic guitars today on this fine piece of concrete and just smash the hell out of them, because that's what I want to do today. I'm in that mood.
That's
I'm in
amazing.
that feeling.
See, Chris is a rock star.
He is a rock star.
In the band
you actually have your own band. He actually looks more like a rock star than wrestler right now.
I agree. And I'd love to see his
Sexier.
finishing move on stage. So, Chris, let's see it. Let's say the set's over.
Well, I actually don't use this to finish anybody on stage. I've actually never done this before. I'm doing it here.
First
it's a
time
G4
here.
exclusive.
Let's see it.
Just for you. Ready?
Take that bad boy out. It's out of tune. You need to put it out of its
gotta make
misery
sure it's
now.
in tune.
Well, you know, Chris has like a million nicknames. Like Y2J is one of them, and I think we're gonna come up with Smashing Guitar Man.
Yeah, right. They're about ready to call me the guitar smashing mofo. Right here. We ready?
Let's see it.
Let me give you a 3 count. Say 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Break that, baby! Yeah! Oh, come on!
Nice.
Yeah!
Wow, these things are resilient. There you go.
Our camera
That's
guy
it right
just-
there. And if I was Paul Stanley from Kiss, I would then like break it and give one to this screaming person and one to this screaming person. But there's no screaming people here. There you go. There's one over there. Half-naked chick right there.
Oh,
the first one is down, so we're just left with the
well done,
residue.
One down, a million to go.
Millions more to go. Musicians across America are crying right now, going, "Why did you smash that guitar?
It's actually
worth
little
hundreds."
kids who only wanted a guitar for Christmas. They're the ones in tears right now.
And we just throw away crap here.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Now it is time to open our version of the morning paper.
It's like Jimmy Superfly Snuka. We're jumping off the top rope and going around the net. Oh, elbow you.
All right, first up, if you heard a laughing sound in the theater at the beginning of the Pirates of the Caribbean, it was probably because the trailer for Rocky Balboa was playing.
Yeah.
That's right, the Italian stallion is stepping back into the ring one last time, and in case you missed it, last weekend, here is a peek.
Who was the greatest? Who was the best of all time? If two athletes from different eras could actually compete against one another, who would come out on top? In one corner, the reigning champion at Mason the Line Dixon. He'll be pitted against the former two-time heavyweight champion, Rocky Balboa. Computer says Rocky Balboa would be triumphant.
Mason the Line Dixon?
What?
Really?
You don't like that name?
That's a crappy nickname.
I
mean,
love
it's just,
that name.
I get it, but it's really not that
I think it's
intimidating.
great.
You should be
Well,
like
who would you be?
Hammerhead. I'd be Pretty Boy.
Pretty Boy Pereira.
It works, right?
Well, you know, I gotta tell you, when you hear that music come on, you can't help but just love it.
Well, you know, I was playing the trailer this morning at my desk, and all the coworkers are coming by, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it looks pretty lame, right?" I'm like, "Actually, no, I'm really psyched. I like what they're doing."
Yeah, and they're addressing that he's old now.
Yeah,
he's
they're
60.
like, "You got arthritis. You have bad knees.
Yeah.
You're doing the eggs with what Metamucil."
Which we will never do ever again.
Yeah, his training montage includes FiberCon, and I'm okay with that.
But this time, this Rocky, they add in something with computers or something like that.
Well, yeah, it's like a virtual match of who would win in a fight, and that's why Rocky gets back in the ring. I don't think he's going to win, though. I think they're going to let him lose and go out gracefully.
Of course he'll win.
$5. $5 says Rocky puts on a hell of a fight but loses.
All right, $5, and when I win, $5 in that finger thing you're talking about.
Is that the payment?
Yeah, it'd be good.
All right, I'm willing to go on the line. Done. Now, yesterday we introduced you to Chuck Morris, and today it's time to meet another gentleman by the name of Josh Haraway. Now, good old Josh has spent his valuable time trying to transform himself into Tupac Shakur.
What?
Look at the bathtub shot.
That is a waste of time.
That's awesome is what it is. And from the looks of the pics, he's doing a pretty good job. I mean, he's got the abs. You know, he's doing some sit-ups there.
He looks like him, but I mean, isn't there something better you could do with your life?
Thug life tattoo. Hello. He's even got kind of the gangsta attitude going on, as you can see there.
Did you say gangsta?
Gangsta.
With an A?
I was getting crunk with it right then. That's what I was doing. Get my swerve on.
Don't ever say that again, please.
All right. I listen to a lot of the hip-hop on XM.
Do you?
Yeah. I can drop it like it's hot. Now, all he needs to do is actually find a guy who looks like Biggie and start an East Coast, West Coast rap impersonator
what's
feud.
the name? There is a Biggie. What's our camera? What's the
Gorilla Black.
Gorilla Black. So there is actually one, but he's from Compton, so.
He'll actually shoot him.
But he's not a real Tupac. You got to go there.
I'm just saying, it's a feud, and he will actually get shot.
He's not a real Tupac. He's not a real Biggie. They'll match up. It'll be awesome. And finally today, a redneck launching 8,500 fireworks in under a minute.
And I'm setting up some bottle rockets to shoot off here. You got your duct tape.
How many bottle rockets are you going to shoot at one time?
This will be loaded with 8,500. 8,500.
All right, I guess we better start moving back now, huh?
Okay, I love his mention of, I guess we might be moseying back now.
Beat up them bottle rockets, let me back from the fireworks. Like, what?
Okay, if you guys were offended that I called him a redneck, I think that, I think it's pretty clear.
Listen to the setup.
All right, everyone, no more internet for you guys today. You'll spoil your appetite. Save room.
Save room. Go to attackoftheshow.com for the links to everything you just saw. But right now, here's a tease of what matters. It's Layla Cayley and the feed headlines.
Thanks, Kevin. Here's what's coming up in the feed today. Don't even pretend you don't want to hear about it. The Microsoft iPod killer is out of the bag, and we've got the exclusive pics. Did Jay Allen knock one out of the park? Stay tuned, and I'll let you know. Plus, some big news about everyone's favorite sitcom, The Office. And finally, what's going on with Pirates of the Caribbean in the country that Mal built? All this and more coming up in the feed. But first, back to the couch.
Thank you, Layla. Now, this past Sunday, a new Chappelle show aired, and Comedy Central is calling them the lost episodes. And oddly enough, they're actually made without the blessing and really without the support of Dave Chappelle.
That's true. Some people say that Dave went crazy. Others say that he just got fed up, which I agree with. Either way, his name is still attached, and the shows were pieced together without his final approval.
Yeah, and you kind of have to ask, like, why mess with something that was so good? Like, if he's not attached to it, should we really be doing this?
That's true. So, fans, it's time for the poll question. Should the lost episodes have stayed lost, or are you sort of glad to see him back? We want to know what you guys think. Vote by text message. Text your vote to G4TXT. That's 44898 to vote, and register for AOTS Live News Alerts. Now, guys, don't get all crazy on us and start flipping channels and hiding out in Africa. We will find you. We will.
Next, is Dave Chappelle back, or does Comedy Central just want you to think so? And later, is Sharon Stone too old to be doing this?
Do I make you uncomfortable?
Stay tuned for more Attack of the Show.
Attack of the Show. Attack.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show. We are live and talking about the Chappelle Show. Before the break, we asked you if Dave Chappelle's lost episodes should have stayed lost. Well, according to our text message counting scientists at the G4 Laboratories, it is dead even, with half of you thinking that Dave Chappelle's lost episodes should have stayed lost, and the other half glad you have more Chappelle to enjoy. Now it's time to send it on over to Kevin.
I am Rick James, bitch. And with lines like that, the Chappelle Show became a phenomenon, but Dave Chappelle stunned everyone by walking off the show. And now we have the lost episodes. So what really happened? Are these episodes any good? And is this the end for Dave Chappelle? Let's get into it, folks. It's The Loop. Now, in case you missed Chappelle's show, the lost episodes on Sunday night, you can almost sort of see him going a little bit crazy about the $50 million deal in the skit. So here, take a look in case you missed it.
So, you go on do your show again?
It's looking that way.
You must be paid. Big TV star.
Nah, man, it's cable.
Reports say Chappelle has received $55 million.
You ran like on TV, don't you?
All right, you're all set.
How much owe you, man?
$11,000.
That was pretty good. Joining us from New York, Charlie Murphy, distinguished comedian and co-host of the Lost Episodes, also from the Big Apple, actor, radio personality, and Chappelle Show co-host Donnell Rawlings. And in Los Angeles, Brian Ford Sullivan from the FutonCritic.com. Gentlemen, welcome to The Loop. Charlie, I want to start with you, sir. The first 2 seasons of Chappelle's Show, I mean, a huge success. That's putting it lightly. That's an understatement of the century. This thing was giant. Now we come to Sunday. We have the lost episodes. What do you think? Are they living up to the original 2 seasons?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when we the lost episodes is basically the beginning of the 3rd season, and it was all the stuff that was shot before Dave, left. You know, up until him leaving, everything was right on the mark. As far as picking up from the, where we left off the year before, and carrying on in the same tradition, all that was right in line. It was the same people, same writers, everything. So, I was real comfortable with it. And when we seen the stuff that was shot after it was cut and everything, it was good stuff.
All right, now Brian, what do you think here? Is this must-see Chappelle for you, or do you think Comedy Central's cashing in?
Well, I think certainly Comedy Central is going to be more than thrilled by airing these. But at the same time, I think we're also seeing a show in the middle of its process. We're sort of seeing what was going through Dave's head, and this isn't his final product how he wanted it. This is sort of just a rough cut. And I think the end result is much different than him being in the show itself.
Yeah, Donnell, what do you think about this? Because, Charlie has a point. It's the beginning of the 3rd season. It's all the same people, but there is that sort of opinion that these episodes might be half-baked or not as great as they could be because Dave's not there. What's your opinion on the lost episodes?
I mean, a lot of things that me and Charlie dealing with on the road, should we have done it, is the material quality. After working on the show for, like, the last 3 years, I think it's consistent with everything that we were doing for season 1 and season 2. I know you do have diehard fans that can't consume the fact that Dave is actually not on stage presenting the sketches and hosting it. But if anybody is a fan of Chappelle's Show and they look how the show was presented, me and Charlie probably shared 3 minutes of stage time, and everything else was a setup for Dave doing what he does. I've talked to a lot of media, and I explained that I think that Neil Brennan and both Dave Chappelle were like the Tupacs of comedy, because some of this material was shot a year ago and conceived maybe 2 years ago, and it's still relevant today. When you do have a big marquee name like Dave does not support the show, there's always going to be some reservations. Is it funny? Is it not funny? But when you're working with the same staff, you work with the same producers, it's hard for those people to drop off on what they write and they're not funny anymore.
Now, Charlie, tell me, because you do have the same staff, the same producers, but how involved was Dave in the process of these skits? Would he be there in the editing?
100%. Dave wrote the sketches, man. That's the thing that's kind of irritating about this whole, people saying, are the sketches funny? Did they live up to last season? Dave Chappelle wrote and produced all the sketches that you've seen on the show.
But now, but he wasn't in the editing bay seeing them till the end. And I mean, does that affect the end product for you?
Not very much. I mean, it's like the guy who was in the editing bay was Neil Brennan. Mm-hmm. Neil Brennan was the guy who was in the editing bay for season 1 and season 2. I would say Neil Brennan is a pretty good interpreter of Dave Chappelle's, you know, his comedy. I mean, you know, the show was nominated for an Emmy.
It's looking that way.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Neil Brennan's editing, as well as, you know, of course, Dave Chappelle's, you know, his humor and stuff. But Neil did a fantastic job directing and editing.
Donnell, do you think people are looking at these skits and they're saying, hey, well, it's not as funny because Dave's not there? Do you think if Dave were on stage and he was hosting these things, the reaction would be entirely different?
I mean, of course, people gravitate toward Dave Chappelle's personality. He's a charming person. But again, like, I mean, just to go back on the question you asked, Charlie, Neil Brennan was a close friend of Dave Chappelle's for years. And his integrity, he wouldn't go into an editing room trying to slant the show any direction other than what Dave wanted. Those sketches were already produced. They were already in the editing process when Dave was there.
All right, now, Brian, you've kind of got your fingers on the pulse of it.
Can I jump in right here?
Go ahead, Charlie.
Can I jump in and say something? You know, as far as somebody watching the show and saying, well, you know, the show is not as funny because Dave is not there. Dave is there. Dave is there from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. It's not like you watch the show, it's like me and Donnell and all the sketches, and Dave's not in them. Okay?
But
it's
Charlie,
all sketches with Dave.
Can I say something, Charlie? And that's like that's one of the things people are not focusing on. Me and Charlie did not perform in a sketch for the first episode, so it's definitely a strong Dave Chappelle presence.
All right, now I do have to say one thing. Last night on Anderson Cooper, Dave Chappelle said that 90% of him didn't want the lost episodes to come to air. So despite him being in the sketches and despite him writing them and having that sort of involvement, does it ever worry you guys at all, you know, Charlie and Donnell? Does it ever bother you that Dave himself doesn't necessarily want these to see the light of day?
I like to answer that first.
Please, Donnell.
I'm a loyal person. I was loyal, and I gave everything to that show for the last 2 years. You know, Dave went to Africa while we were actually working. There was a lot of people with the same question mark as what happened to Dave. But I know that as a professional, I gotta keep my career going, and I thought it was an opportunity for me to for people to see what I do as funny. Everybody's focused on Dave not being there, but Dave is there 90% of the sketches. And me personally, without knowing what David Chappelle's agenda is, the reasons why he left with no communication, saying, hey guys, I feel this way. I would much rather you not be a part of this process or whatever. Had I had a conversation with Dave like that, then there's a possibility that I would have reconsidered me hosting it. But another thing people got to keep in mind is that we're all attached to Dave. I love Dave. I miss his presence on that show. But on the business side of Comedy Central invested a lot of money into marketing to third season.
No, it's true, and they're gonna get what they can out of it, and that's just deserved. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, not so much they got to give what they can, but I mean, anybody think with any logic, you invested millions in the production of these shows. You know, a guy off season, he contemplated whether he's going to come back or not.
Right. They got to get their money's worth, his bottom line, Donnell. Gentlemen, I got to say thank you so much for coming on and answering the questions. It's really refreshing to get this point of view and to hear what you guys have to say. And I want to wish you the best of luck with the lost episodes. Thought it was really funny. I cannot wait till next week. Everybody, it's been an interesting loop today. Thanks to Charlie, Brian, and Donnell for keeping us informed. Right now, we're going over to Olivia.
All right, thanks, Kev. So if I go down on a guy, do I expect him then to go down on me? Well, start unzipping, because when we come back, I'm going in your pants with the answer. And in DVDuesday, we're taking a peep into the sequel of the world's most famous leg spread. No underwear required here when we come back. But before we go to break, let's watch your party host, Chris Jericho, smashy smash. Hey, Chris, what's next?
What do you think? I'm just a pawn? I'm going to do whatever you want?
Yes.
You want a piece of me? Can I show you my bishop? Here we go. I'm going to do a chessboard thing here. By rook or by crook, I'm going to smash this thing. How many bad jokes is that in the course of about 30 seconds? You ready? Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2. King, you're going down.
Oh! Oh!
Wow, right off the bat. Look at this.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show. We are live, and we've been smashing stuff all day long. We'll do so much more of that later. But first, let's go over to Kevin.
You know, it's summer. It's a little hot, a little warm, and you're enjoying the air conditioning. But if all you want to do is look at scary Sharon Stone naked, then you're in luck, you dirty bird, because it's DVDuesday. Chris Gore is back. Do not adjust your bunny ears with the tinfoil.
right.
Good to see you, buddy.
DVDuesday's back, and it's better than ever.
Well, let's get into it. I know it's better because we've got some aged region.
Aged
Basic
regions.
Instinct 2 unrated extended cut. Wow. There's extra. There's more. Tell me about it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you were one of the unfortunate souls who saw Basic Instinct 2 when it came to theaters, this is one of those movies where they added some extra stuff. Unfortunately, it's not the extra stuff that you'd actually like to see.
Well, now, it says unrated, so I'm assuming that means there's going to be some full frontal, maybe some spreadage of the eagle.
That's the thing about unrated. It doesn't mean that it's actually an R or an NC-17 or even an X rating. What it is they didn't submit it to the ratings board.
So we're not
That's
necessarily
what it
getting any
actually
extra nudity.
Well, there is a little bit. There's this orgy scene, and there's
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's not as good as you think.
Oh,
not
really?
as good as you think. And just not enough good stuff. And the thing is more nude Sharon Stone good? I'm saying no.
Probably not, yeah. It sounds like a creaky cellar door whenever she actually opens them.
I'm saying no. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, if you knew your parents made a sex tape, would you want to watch it?
No.
And on that note, if you don't believe me, watch this.
My client understands, and she agrees I should be present for...
Maybe Dr. Glass is right and we should be alone for this.
Catherine, I strongly advise you not to contemplate
So,
having...
is this where we're gonna do it?
Yeah.
Was that really?
Yeah.
The writer actually put that on the page and she read it.
It's as boring as that for the entirety of the movie. It's
All right,
just
well, and
dull.
it is an extended cut now, so there's more doldrum. What's the bottom line on this one, Chris?
Bottom line on this is it's a burn, pass, skip it, get rid of it, do not watch it.
You're trying
Go
to
straight
poach
to your
Blair Butler's
landfill.
action with the burn. I
Yeah,
like it.
I like the burn. I
Yeah,
like
no,
the
it's
burn.
good. Leave it on the shelf. Stay far, far away from it is what you're
Do
saying.
not get this.
All right, moving on. We have Doctor Who, the first series. Which, hey, I wasn't a big Doctor Who fan. I heard there was like 10 different Doctor Whos, and which
That's
one is
true.
this, and where does this fall in?
Well,
is it worth getting?
Here's the thing. I am a Doctor Who fan, but where I fit is Star Trek fans make fun of me. So in the geek, you know, evolutionary chart, I'm way at the bottom. But this is fantastic. I mean, we've seen previous incarnations that were basically, they were made fun of because they were cheap. But this one, there's a lot put into the special effects.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
The budget, they increased it. They've got Christopher Eccleston playing Doctor Who. He is amazing because he takes it so seriously.
Right.
You're taken on this journey. This girl named Rose is actually the character she takes with him, you know, from Earth, traveling all over. You get there's 13 episodes on the disc. Amazing sci-fi.
What about
great
the extras,
comedy.
though? Because I'm assuming that they're giving something for the nerds, right?
Unbelievable. 5 hours of extras, commentary for every episode. You've got interviews behind the scenes, lots of great stuff. I mean, even if you're not a fan of Doctor Who, like yourself, not a big fan.
Yeah, let's assume that the viewer out there has never even seen Doctor Who. If they pick this up, will they be lost, or will they be able to jump right into it?
They'll love it, especially if you've never seen it, just because it's great science fiction and great drama. You really get into these characters. There's a great episode where Rose loses her father, goes back in time, tries to save him, screws up the time continuum, and
I hate
creatures
it when they do
come
that.
and try to kill them.
They bring back the sports almanac, and then Biff hits him with the cane.
All that's.
What's the bottom line, Chris?
Bottom line on this, Doctor Who, it's a buy.
Really?
It's a buy, yeah.
All right, there you have it. For
Love it.
fans and non-fans alike, Doctor Who's a buy. Almost out of time, but I know you love to get a quickie in, so
Exactly.
Let's do it.
If you want a good suspense thriller, I recommend getting this boxed Asian set. Danger After Dark, one film in particular, Suicide Club.
You love the Asian box.
Asian schoolgirls killing themselves, bloody,
How
suspenseful.
can you go wrong with that?
Gotta get it. Danger After Dark box set.
Fantastic. Great quick pick, Dr. Gore. Thanks for
Okay,
coming
great.
on.
Thanks
As
for
always,
having me.
folks, visit filmthreat.com or chrisgore.com for more movie info. And stay with us. We're about to get bad. And I mean very bad. I bet you never heard a tease like that, have you?
Coming up next, we find out what's really hot in your pants.
It's a vagina.
Then hide the women and children because Chris Jericho is in the building. Attack will be right back.
Oh! You love the eggs, right?
What?
You love it, don't you? Go ahead. I wouldn't.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back to a live attack of the show. That smells bad.
Yeah, it smells really bad.
Oh, God, it really does.
We've had an action-packed day of smashing, and there's still so much more ahead.
You're gonna eat it?
No,
I
you eat it.
don't know if they're
No,
safe
you
to
eat
eat.
it.
I'm waiting for a producer to say it's safe, but they're not.
It's
so I'm
safe.
not doing
Eat
it.
it.
No. But right now,
You can eat it.
we're keeping you at the forefront of what matters.
Ah!
It's time for
That
the
was
news.
on the floor.
Here's
that
the
was
feed.
disgusting.
What's going on, Layla?
You are disgusting.
You're nasty. It stinks in here.
Oh, it's
All
terrible.
right.
Hey, you're
Yes.
from what? The across the pond,
Yes,
as they say.
I'm from England.
Have you heard
Did
of
you know
the
it?
eggs are tasty, but I've heard of something called the spotted dick.
Yes.
What's exactly?
Spotted dick is like this dessert. It's a sponge cake and it has raisins in it. Yeah.
Not that interesting.
Not where I was hoping you were going to go with that. But thanks for the information. At
I
least.
personally like spotted dick. It's very delicious.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah. Enough of this small talk. Why look on the internet or read the paper for your news when you can just let a British girl do the work for you? I'm Layla Katie, and it's time to start the feed. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Argo, otherwise known as a thing Jay Allard hopes will be Microsoft's iPod killer. It's got Wi-Fi, it can play songs, you can watch videos, you can even play games, and it's coming out this Christmas. The website and gadget scored an exclusive photo, and here's what it looks like. I just want to know two things. How much, and can I pre-order it, please? The best show on American television is meeting up with the best show on British television, and they are both called The Office. That's right, producers of The American Office are saying that characters from the original British series might be making some cameos next season. So what happens when Gareth, Tim, and Dawn meet Dwight, Jim, and Pam? I predict the world will explode, but I'll definitely be tuned in to see it. Attention rich dudes everywhere, there's a new car you can buy. It's called the Mercedes SLR 722. It's got 650 horses, can go from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, and costs a lot of money. But the best part is, if you buy it, you get a membership into the Mercedes SLR Club. The club is described as ultra exclusive and has its headquarters in the south of France. Members can go there and drive around really fast while professional race car drivers coach them. Never have so many people gathered to overcompensate for their small penises all at once. And finally, today, China sent out its strongest anti-piracy message ever. No, they're not cracking down on illegal DVDs or file sharing. They're just banning Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. Censors say the movie's violence and supernatural content are just too much for the Chinese people to handle. Oh well, I guess the Chinese people will just have to get the movie on an illegal DVD or through file sharing. Poor Chinese people. Well, that's all for today. Skip the porn for once and check out G4TV.com for even more news and info. Until then, treat yourself to an after dinner mint because you just been fed. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Miss Layla. It's time now for some steamy sex advice from two very sexy ladies. Let's go over to Olivia and get it started.
All right, thanks, Kev. It actually still smells really bad in here. I hope you guys are at home are wearing your day of the week underwear because we're about to go in your pants. So you guys know Anna David. She writes for magazines like Details and stuff, and she's here now to help you guys get some action, or at the very least, a date that doesn't suck. All right, the first guy up has a little bit of a confidence problem.
Hello, ladies. My question is, how do you know if a girl likes you or not?
Anna, what do you think?
Well, I think there are the obvious signs. She sort of touches you when she talks. She sort of lingers a little bit longer, smiles, compliments you. And then there's the polar opposite. She completely clams up and can't say a word. And I think we've all kind of been in that situation. Generally, like when girls get more confidence, they're not really like that.
Yeah.
But I do think either extreme can be a sign.
Definitely. Or if she's completely ignoring you and walking the other way, that means she doesn't like you. Because I do that. Like when I'm talking to them, like, yeah, hi, great.
Unless she's playing a game. I think the ultimate test, and I'm not saying I recommend this as a regular thing, but the ultimate test is to try to make her jealous and see what happens.
Like how?
Like you're talking to the girl and then you say, well, that girl's pretty. And if she acts hurt and or jealous, you can say, but not as pretty as you.
I don't like that. That would not work for me, Anna.
But even with the not as pretty as you?
No, because, okay. Because I imagine I'm at a party and I'm with this guy and he goes, wow, that girl's really pretty. I don't care if he says that she's not as pretty as me. He's still calling out that he recognizes another pretty girl.
Right.
Like that just wouldn't.
I know that is a turnoff. But I'm saying if a guy really doesn't know, and women are mysterious creatures to men, you know. And if he really wants an answer, that's a way to get it.
Anna says try to make her jealous. It wouldn't work for me, but
so don't do it if
you ever meet me out there, please don't do that. All right, next up is a guy who isn't sure if he's supposed to return a favor.
Here's a question for the ladies.
If a girl goes down on me, do I have to go down on her too?
Okay.
What do you think?
I think your approach is all wrong. I think you're approaching sex as a taker and not a giver.
And maybe he sounds like a give and take. Well, he's like, if I give, do I get to take?
Okay, so you're telling me if a guy if you do that to a guy and then he says, you know what, I'm just really not in the mood, or I'm not really comfortable doing that to you.
I wouldn't ask him. If he does it, he does it. If he does, I don't. If he gives it, if he gives it, or if he's giving her oral sex and she doesn't give it back, then
no. So she gives it to him, and he wants to know if he has to give it back.
No, you don't have to give it back.
Okay, that's because you don't like oral sex.
I don't mind oral sex, but I'm not like, I don't need it. Like if I'm with a guy, and if I really like the guy, I wouldn't mind having oral sex, or I would like having oral sex, but just because he does it to me doesn't mean I have to, or just because I give him doesn't mean he has to give back. No, honestly, that's how I feel.
Okay, well, I think that there are a lot of women who would be offended.
So if you go down on a guy, you expect him to give it back.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's some good reason, if that's the stage you're at, it's sort of like, I did this for you, and you would. Okay. I think that most people have that expectation.
So basically, it's better safe than sorry. So go ahead and do it. It's not going to kill you. Yeah. And then next time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that there are women who don't like receiving oral sex that much, so you don't have to force it on her or anything like that. But, you know, try to be a giver.
All right, try to be a giver. And finally, a guy who's not playing with the right joystick.
So my girlfriend broke up with me because she thinks I play a lot of video games. I'm kind of lonely without her, but I don't want to stop playing video games. So what should I do?
Well, I think it really depends on how much gaming he's doing.
Well, I mean,
because look, I mean, it's all in the news. Video gaming can be an addiction. Studies show it raises the same dopamine levels that drugs do. It has the same reward system. So,
how many hours a week is too many hours?
I think if you're doing it more than 20 hours a week.
20 hours? That's a part-time job.
Okay, so
I don't work that much here.
Guys,
this is a full-time job for me.
Okay, well, look, I'm saying anything more than 20 hours is alarming, and the girl has got a point. And you might be sort of, you know, checking out of your feelings in the same way drug addicts check out of their feelings. If it's like you're playing for a few hours a week,
so
dump the girl. Get a girlfriend who likes gaming.
All right, so check yourself, check your gaming. All right, if you guys want to make our adventures into your pants more filling and more satisfying, you've got to send us your sex and relationship video questions. Ask us anything. We don't blush easily, as you can see. Just go to g4tv.com/video voicemail. And to find out more about Anna David, go to annadavid.com.
Man, it's like a hen house over there. You know what? Time for the rooster to chime in. So listen, when it comes to oral sex, ladies, nothing is guaranteed on our part. There you have it. Cock-a-doodle-doo, bitches.
Coming up next, feel the wrath of wrestling legend Chris Jericho. Don't go away, because Attack of the Show will be right back. The feed was brought to you by Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing.
Welcome back. We are live and all day. Former WWE wrestler Chris Jericho, the highlight of the night, has been breaking guitars on our set and spilling nasty egg pickle things everywhere. It smells disgusting. Hey, Chris, why the brutality?
If you just joined us, I just smashed a whole big gallon jar of pickled eggs, and
it smells disgusting.
I don't feel so bad about eating garlic bread and being this close speaking with you now.
Oh, good, because I couldn't smell it. And my feet are in it. It's gross.
Yeah, we're slipping around.
Now, Chris, you're actually an actor now and a musician. How hard is that leap going from WWE wrestler to the big screen and into music?
It's kind of a lot of similarities because wrestling is live in front of a crowd, and it's almost like doing a stage play, like a morality play, you know, good versus bad. So it's not that far of a stretch to go into theater or to go into playing in front of a crowd with the band or doing.
Because you're playing a character.
Absolutely.
Anyways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, wrestling is show business. Oh my God! I gave it up. It's show business.
I had no idea.
I didn't know. I thought it was
fantasy.
Yeah, the fantasy is destroyed. Just like there's no Santa Claus.
But you must be no Santa Claus?
Can I say that? There's probably
what about the Easter Bunny?
That's real.
That is real.
I saw him in my room one time.
Did you?
He left a colored egg, a pickled egg, as a matter of fact, underneath my pillow.
It
smelled a little bit like this.
Right. Now, you must be being happy to be bashing all these guitars because you must miss all that violence from the WWE.
Yeah, this is helping. I'm living vicariously through these smashed guitars.
That's what we do for you. We make dreams come true.
Absolutely. This is more of like a Make-A-Wish thing. This is what I wanted to do, and I flew here from across the country just to smash
Great.
things.
Where were you?
I was actually in Florida.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, you're also doing improv with the Groundlings. Groundlings,
Yeah.
very popular improv group out here in L.A.
Mhm.
Have they accepted you as one of their own? How'd you get into that?
I did an episode of Mad TV, and one of the producers was a Groundling, and they invited me to come to a show, then they invited me to appear in the show on a Thursday night, Cooking with Gas. And that's what I've been doing. They keep asking me to come back, and it's great because the Groundlings, Will Ferrell was a Groundling, Phil Hartman was a Groundling.
Everyone.
Yeah, so to go and kind of be nose to nose with these guys and not only hold my own, but to push the envelope to where they're kind of keeping up with me
That's
at
awesome.
certain points of time. It's been really good to as a performer, and people see that and it's like, wow, Jericho's a wrestler and he's a Groundling? I never knew he was funny. And it's like, you got to be quick, baby. You got to be quick at all times.
Well, you don't look like a wrestler anymore. You look like a rock star musician,
Well, thank you.
comedian
I'm not
now.
wearing my wrestler costume right now, so.
Nice. Well, I can feel that you actually have some more pent-up
I do.
aggression.
There's
So
a
I think
little
we're going to
left.
go ahead and bring in a mannequin.
I think we
for
should
you to-
bring one in.
Actually, this isn't a mannequin. It's a real person.
It's
Can't you
actually
tell?
what I actually hated the
I'm
show.
gonna move over so you can.
I hated Magnum PI in 1980, and this is like my Tom Selleck Magnum doll, and I'm just gonna smash the crap out of it.
Oh,
but I
great.
think, you know what, I've been doing it all day. I just smashed the pickled eggs.
You're gonna
so
let me smash
I
it?
think you should do it,
Okay,
but I'm
hold
gonna
on.
stand behind you, or I'll probably take a whack too. So get ready, let's do a drum roll. Oh, wow! Did you notice that?
I can't break it. You need to come in and break
She went right for the plums on that one too, man. Okay, watch
Wait,
out. Here we go. I'm gonna
watching out.
smash it on his foot.
Okay, go ahead.
I hate Magnum PI, and I hate Hawaii, and I hate flowered shirts, and I hate mustaches.
Ah!
There we go.
All right, you guys want more Chris Jericho? Then head over to his website at chrisjericho.com. Right now, let's go on over to Kevin.
Thanks, Olivia. Still ahead, we have a short film starring Miss Olivia that you are going to love, and even more guitar breaking from that one bad mamma jamma, Chris Jericho. Stay with us!
What's going on here?
All right, so just hold this
okay,
part.
I'm going to hold it, and you play a song.
It's still really out of tune. You just gotta. Welcome back to Attack of the Show, everybody. We're live, and all day the Ayatollah of rock and roll, Chris Jericho, has been smashing stuff.
Yes, and what's the master of the nickname Smashing Now?
Ah, Chris, what's going on over there?
Watermelon.
Master of nicknames. First of all, I like that theme song. You have that kind of Herbie Hancock. Attack of the show.
It's pretty good, right?
Now, in the 70s, Gallagher used to do this thing called the Sledge-O-Matic, where he would smash.
Yeah.
Gallagher kind of looked like the Tom Selleck doll.
So you're the Gallagher of 2006.
I'm the Gallagher of 2006. This is now changed from the Sledge-O-Matic to the Rock-O-Matic, and we're going to try and smash these watermelons with an acoustic guitar. I don't know what's going to happen. I promise not to smash the pickled eggs. I was wrong about that, so let's see what happens.
Let's
It's
count it
anybody's
down,
guess.
folks. 3,
All right.
2, 1, go,
Here we go.
All right.
Oh, this is going to go. Watch it. It's going to blow.
Trying to stab. Oh!
All right. Oh, wait, we can crack it.
Wait.
That was
Oh! There we go. That's what you wanted to see, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Perfect.
Nice.
That's a wardrobe bill there, actually.
Attack of the show. Attack of the show.
What are you doing? Are you going to go feed Chris some watermelon? What are you...
No, you ate that egg off the floor, so I figured you'd eat the watermelon off the floor.
What is this? Let's feed Kevin crap day? Like, okay.
So good.
That was delicious. Thank you.
It was really on the floor like that.
It was great. Chris, thank you. And now it's on my shoe. Okay? Coming up next, we have a short... What is going on today? We have a short film with Olivia called Phone Tag that you have to see. Plus, the head of the Jerichoholics is back to his smashing ways. Just sit tight, kids.
If you haven't been watching Attack of the Show, this is what you're missing.
Welcome back, folks. We're live, and now we're checking in on your video voicemail and the little army of monitor heads that we have back here. First up, we have Tom from Arizona.
This is Tom from Sarah Vista, Arizona. Hey, what do you guys think of that Chappelle leaving his show early? Is that guy crazy or what?
No, I don't think he's crazy at all. I think that there's a lot of pressure. He talked about it on Oprah in different interviews. I think that really the pressure, you have all these handlers around him, right? He's talking about like your agents, your managers, you got friends, everybody's wanting it. Once you get $55 million, then everybody else around you gets rich too. Your agents get rich, your managers get rich, your
They all
family.
have a vested interest in you.
Yeah, and
you
so
can't
then-
walk down the hall without 25 people
Yeah.
clearing off the carpet so you don't sprain an ankle on
Exactly.
an errant piece of fiber.
It's such a weird existence to be in, and I don't blame him for wanting to get the hell out of here.
No, I agree. I agree. It's just it is kind of sad that he couldn't continue doing the show, and that he couldn't hang out for it because, you know, watching the episodes on Sunday, yes, they were funny and I was entertained, but I couldn't help but feel a little awkward because I know that he did kind of go nuts over it and he did kind of leave, and it made it. No, I agree. I agree. It's just it is kind of sad that he couldn't continue doing the show, and that he couldn't hang out for it because, you know, watching the episodes on Sunday, yes, they were funny and I was entertained, but I couldn't help but feel a little awkward because I know that he did kind of go nuts over it and he did kind of leave, and it made it just feel a little awkward. That's all.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he can. He's getting the help he needs right now, and he's actually coming to some kind of like conclusion about this whole thing.
Now, next we have Brian from Connecticut. Brian, what's up?
Hey guys, what's up? This is Brian. I was wondering, with Chappelle's quitting, what is that going to do to his legacy?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, a lot of people are judging even Block Party, you know, his little, the DVD that came out soon. People are even looking at that and going like, oh, well, you could see he was starting to get a little edgy. I don't know that people will ever really trust his name
You can
again.
never, I don't know, if I think people will trust him. I just don't think that it'll ever be forgotten. It's just a part of who you are. It's like, you know,
do you think he'll make a comeback? Do you think he'll make the big Rocky comeback and come back with a new show that's even funnier, even better?
I think it'll be even before he's 60 years old. I think that he doesn't have to wait until he's 60. I think that he's amazingly funny and he's really talented, and I think that he'll definitely, once he figures out exactly what he wants from this business and all that, and he gets the right people around him, then he'll do just fine.
I know you and I and probably everybody else out there will continue watching regardless of where he pops up. So good luck, Dave. All right, coming up tomorrow, you better be ready because we are having the world's biggest Mentos explosion, and Olivia's showing off her rack. Again. And finally, I think you have a short film to show us,
Yes,
right?
that's right. I do. Recently, I completed this short film called Phone Tag with comedian Nick Thune. It is so funny. He's an amazing comedian. Everyone's going to know him. It's a little twisted, but one of the best experiences I've had in Los Angeles.
Let's watch.
This isn't a break. It's a break up. Oh, and could you not text me every time you order the same coffee drink I order?
Do you ever think about butterflies?
Hey, it's like 9 a.m. and I haven't heard back from you yet. I was really worried, so I called your mom. And apparently you told her not to talk to me anymore?
It's like 3 a.m. and I'm so lonely.
Is that my yearbook?
Have a fun summer. Stay cool. Love, James. Yeah, have a fun summer dry humping my girlfriend, James.
They actually need to see the whole thing.
Yeah, you have to see the
really
whole
funny,
thing,
actually.
yeah.
Where can they catch it on YouTube?
You can catch it on YouTube. You can go to nickthune.com, or you can go to my MySpace page, MySpace/Omun.
Look at you. You're so connected with the kids.
I am. I love the kids.
Well done, Olivia.
Now we have to end the show in style. Let's smash another guitar with the larger-than-life superstar, Chris Jericho.
Chris, what's your last smash there, buddy?
I just like to say, I just filmed a short film as well. It's about me in the shower. Think about it. What I'm going to do is something a little bit different. I'm actually going to smash the cake and the guitar with the cylinder. Okay? This is going to be the grand finale. You ready?
Wait, I want a piece of cake.
Okay. Is it good?
I got it. I'm good.
Is it vanilla? Okay. You ready? Here we go. All the studio audience of all of us, let's cheer and let's get it going. Ready? Come on. Hey!
3, 2,
here we go!
Oh, no, we need to take two, Chris.
Come
we
on,
need to take two on that one.
Okay,
back
stand
down.
back, stand back.
Ready, come on.
Oh, wait, some splintering.
That actually is vanilla. That's good.
Is it good? 5-second rule. Okay, ready? Here we go.
All right, go, go, go!
Okay, ready? Here we go.